welcome back to my channel. My name is Nan. So today's video, we're going to do some prenatal yoga. This prenatal yoga will be for women who are 19 weeks or second trimester. So right now I'm 19 weeks and I am about 4 days pregnant. So I'll show you my bump. Today I'm going to do yoga with crop top just so that baby can be out there and exposed so we can also look at each other's bumps. So we'll start our yoga practice seated, but the intention of this yoga flow is to prepare your body for different laboring positions. So some of the laboring positions actually require you to be really open, and maybe some of you don't do yoga on the daily, or there's a lot of sitting in your job and maybe you're a bit tight. So we'll do some yoga poses to prep you for maybe some of the laboring positions that you would like. So like usual, we'll start with our pelvic floor exercise. You can either sit on a pillow or sit on the chair or the floor, whichever makes you feel comfortable. And I know if you see my other videos, you're gonna be like, okay, let's just get to it. But let me just explain if you're new. So the pelvic floor and belly breathing exercise is what I like to start class off with. And this is sometimes something that we forget to do, just going out during our day or just even sitting at our desk, we forget to do it. So as you inhale, I want you to expand your stomach. Sometimes you can place your hands on your stomach to get some feedback to make sure that you're doing it. And as you exhale, you're going to hug your baby in. Okay, that's the belly breathing part. And then while you're doing that, you're going to incorporate your pelvic floor. So as you inhale, you're going to imagine your pelvic floor expand, okay, kind of like a napkin. And as you exhale, you're going to pretend like you're pulling a napkin in, okay, with all three holes. So all three holes, meaning your pee hole, the JJ hole, and then your butt, okay? So all those, those are the three holes that I'm talking about, okay? So let's begin. You can either open or close the eyes or hands on your belly if that helps you. Inhale, expand all the things. And as you exhale, hug your baby in, and then maybe you call it a Kegel, pelvic floor. Let's do 4 more like that. Inhale, expand, and then exhale, hug it in. Inhale, expand, exhale, hug it in. We have 2 more left. Inhale, expand, exhale, hug it in. Inhale, expand, and then exhale, hug it in. Gently blink the eyes open if you had them closed. And then we'll start off with Bakasana. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, okay, like a diamond. Okay, and then we'll start to work on opening the outer hips and inner thighs, okay? So all that needs to be open for baby to come out. So as you inhale, you're gonna look up, slight back bend. And as you exhale, bring your nose towards your toes, okay? And if you need a little extra sensation, you're gonna press the knees down with the elbows and then let your head hang. And let's do another 3 deep inhales and exhales here. If your body needs some warming up, you're gonna seal the mouth, okay, as you breathe. If your body needs a little bit of cooling down, you're gonna exhale through your mouth. And then on your next inhalation, gently roll the spine up, and then we'll come into a lower back stretch. All right, so you're gonna extend your right leg. Left leg is gonna do a tree pose. Inhale, reach your left arm up, so it's opposite arm to leg. Turn your heart towards your right foot. Inhale, lift up out of the waistline. Exhale, fold. Okay, you should feel this in your left lower back. So you wanna make sure that the shoulders are nice and even. One more deep breath here. And then gently roll the spine up. Inhale, left arm up towards the sky. Then we're at a side bend. Reach your right arm across your tummy. And then left arm's going to make a big rainbow up and over the right leg. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, extend left leg out. All right, and I probably should have told you this, but I'll write it in the description. But you'll need 2 blocks, okay? Or you can use whatever you have in your house. People like to use books, all right, or pillows. Okay, so for the first version, just kind of depends on how open you are in the inner legs. You can either fold and place your forehead on top of your blocks. All right, but if you don't need the blocks, let me back up a little bit. You're going to fold in between the legs with nothing. And you can walk the hands forward. And then you'll start to feel this in your inner thighs. You want to imagine the thigh bones rolling back as pelvis is tilting forward. Okay, so this pose can actually be used, or this stretch / pose could actually be used to get baby in the right spot. Okay, so letting the baby fall into the pelvis. One more deep breath here. And then gently walk the hands back. And then we'll tree pose with the right leg. Inhale, reach right arm up. So opposite arm to leg. Lift up out of the waistline. And as you exhale, fold. Okay, so in this lower back stretch, baby is going to come to the inside of your left inner thigh. Make sure the shoulders are nice and even. One more deep breath here. And then gently roll the spine up. Inhale, reach right arm up. Exhale, reach left arm across the body. Big rainbow all the way up and over towards the left. Big side bend here. Chin out of chest the best you can. Inhale, come all the way back up. And then we'll come into an easy forward fold. Extend the legs in front of you. Allow the legs to be far apart, or as far apart as you need them to, so you can make space for your baby. Inhale, reach up out of the waistline. Exhale, fold. Okay, for this first part, let your head hang. And let's hold here for 2 more deep breaths. On the next one, you're going to come into a flat back, reaching your heart forward. Okay, this one is not necessarily about how far you can go, but it's more about tilting the pelvis forward, reaching the heart forward. Okay, one more deep breath here. And then as you exhale, come all the way back up. And now you'll need 2 pillows, okay? So we're going to use a pillow to prop the other pillow up. And one of the birthing positions is to turn the knees in, the internal rotation of the knees. This is when the baby is starting to crown, and you're going to make space and squeeze the top portion of your pelvis to push baby out. So with that, you need that range of motion in your thigh. So one way we can practice this is go ahead and find your pillow. For some of you, you may need to prop this ramp up on a higher setting. Okay, for some of you, you may not even need this situation here. Okay, and then some of you will need to sit on a block to give you some height. Okay, this all depends on your thigh bones here, but we're going to sit in hero's pose, also known as Virasana. Okay, so we'll start with just one leg first. So these are the people who need additional support, but obviously if you don't need this, you can ditch this whole contraption and then do it with no props. All right, so let's start with left knee bent in. Okay, so this is also a birthing position, is squatting down. Sometimes that's hard for people, but this is a way that you can practice this. So this one and this one, okay? So we have a 2-for-1 in practicing the different birthing positions and getting the muscles, the body prepared for that, and the length that we need for that. So once you come into this pose, you're gonna gently lower down, and you're gonna lower down to wherever you feel comfortable. Some of you may need to adjust this to a little bit higher, all right? And once you arrive, this pose, you want the heel to be outside of your butt. okay? And then the knee is pressing down. Now, if everything is all good and you want a little bit of extra, you're gonna reach your arms up and over the head, and then you'll also get a nice shoulder stretch. So let's hold this pose for 6 deep breaths because it was definitely hard to get into it. So let's just stay here a little bit longer. And obviously, if this pose is too much for you, you can back up off it and just watch me do it. Let's do another 3. Another 2. And then slowly release the hands down. And without using your core, your ab muscles, like crunches, you don't want to do that anymore. You bring your hands onto the mat and help your hands lift you up. All right, so there is no abdominal tension there. You're letting your hands help you up. All right, and then we're going to switch it out. Okay, so right knee bends in, left knee points down, heel grazes the side of your butt. All right, take your time to gently lower down. And then we got 6 deep breaths here. All right, so this one is the 2-for-1 with the legs. And another thing that it's awesome for is kind of opening up the chest. All right, 5 more deep breaths here. 4 more. And then coming up on your last one. Gently release the arms down by your side. Remember to use the hands to lift your body up, not using the core. Walk the hands forward. And then go all the way forward. Drop the right knee down. All right, and then we're going to transition into cat. Okay, we're going to skip the cow. Okay, so that is our modified prenatal cat to the cow. So moving all these things aside, we're going to turn the thigh bones in. So that birthing position that I was showing you before, you're going to glue the knees together. As you exhale, coil up your spine. As you inhale, neutral spine. Okay, see if you can activate belly breathing here. Exhale. Hug baby in. Inhale. Neutral spine. One more. Exhale. Hug baby in. Inhale. Neutral spine. And then reposition the knees. And then we're going to come into puppy pose. Here you may need your block as well. So I'll demo with the block. This one's going to be for your forehead. Okay. You're going to back the knees up. It's like downward facing dog, but on the knees. So walking the hands forward. Drop the forehead down on the block. Now, if you don't need that, you're going to move the block off to the side and then drop the chin down. Holding here. Oops, I realized you probably can't see me. Holding here for another 2 more deep breaths. Then gently shift the shoulders forward. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders. And you're going to sit on top of your heels. Okay, so let me just give you a little explanation about that pose. So that pose is also another way to get the baby into position. Okay, it's also a chest opener, shoulder opener. All right, so once you do that pose, you're going to just sit on top of the heels and then gently close the eyes. So any shoulder opener, chest opener is going to be very energizing. So now you're going to neutralize the energy. Deep inhale, and then open your mouth, exhale, coming into all fours. All right, and then we're going to step the right foot forward. And then we'll come into, we'll just step the right foot forward. And then we're going to work on opening up the hip. So You're either going to push forward if that feels good to you and turn the right toes out, or you're going to lift the inner right arch up. All right, you should feel that in your hip. Okay, so this one is a good one to labor in. It's opening up the hips, opening up the pelvic floor. So this one is actually pretty hard to hold on, right? So this pose teaches you to open up the pelvic floor. Now, if you're super flexible, but also make sure that you don't go too hard, right? Because now we have the hormone relaxin. So you can either drop it down to your forearms if that feels nice to you. But if it's like you feel like you're kind of overdoing, you're going to back up off that. Okay. And you're going to press the hips forward and then press the hips back. Press the hips forward and press the hips back. Now I'm in a little weird position, but we're going to work on another pose that you also labor. It's going to be like half Malasana. So you're going to turn the left heel in underneath your bum. Okay, you're going to rotate it to where you can sit on top of that left heel, and that right knee is going to be in a half squat. Okay, I know this is a weird angle, but I'm going to do the other side too. Place the palms into heart center and hold here. And this pose also gives you a reminder to open up so baby can make its entrance into the world. Okay, one more deep breath here. And you're going to release the hands onto your mat. Come back where you came from, so turning the heel back out, foot back out, and then step right foot back into all fours. Other side, stepping left foot forward. Okay, this is what they call lizard pose. And you're going to go to your version, and then we're going to hold for 3 before we rock it back and forth. Drop it down to your forearms. If you want to open the inner left foot, you can. One more deep breath here. And if you're on the forearms, you're going to come back onto the palms. You're going to rock it back. Ooh, and then rock it forward. 2 more, rock it back. And rock it forward. Rock it back. And then forward. Now you're going to do that weird one where you're going to rotate the right heel in, walk the hands towards right side of the mat. You're going to squat down, sit on top of the heels, half squat, palms into heart center, and hold for 3 deep breaths. Belly breathing here. Last one. Good. Hands down. Pivot to where you came from, to the top of the mat. Turn the back heel out. Step back into all fours. You know, this one is going to be a little difficult, but it's about making your hips move like a figure 8. All right. So you're going to draw a figure 8, moving out to the side, and you'll feel a nice outer hip stretch, and then up towards the left. Okay, then back. So figure 8s, the best you can. Okay, you can make it as big as you want. This is another way to get baby into the right position in the pelvis, head down. And then the complicated one, now you're going to do the left. This one's hard for me. The left, figure 8. Okay, make sure you're breathing throughout this. Good, and then you're going to pause in the middle. Sit on top of your heels. Give yourself a little break. Now we're going to do our belly breathing and core exercise, okay? This is prenatal core, so it's way different than crunching, bicycling, okay, all that crazy stuff. So we're going to come into all fours. As you inhale, open up your tummy, open up your pelvic floor, and as you exhale, see if you can lift your right knee off the earth. Okay, inhale, expand. Exhale, lift the left knee off the earth. Sometimes you can't even see it, right? Because it's a very small movement, but it is tough. But you are, I hope you can see it through the video, but you are seeing your belly move in this pose. Inhale. and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And let's come into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, lifting the hips up and back, bicycling the legs, shaking out the neck. Okay, and with all those inner thigh stretch and hip stretch, we're going to come into our last final pose, walking the hands towards the back of the mat, okay, instead of the top, back of the mat. Then you're going to turn your toes out. You may need your block here. Bring your feet hip distance apart, and then you're going to drop it low. Okay, drop it low. Now, if this one's too much, you're going to sit on top of your block. All right, and then palms into heart center. And what I want you to focus on is opening the knees up, opening up the pelvic floor, and pressing your heart in towards your thumbs. All right, and we're going to stay here for 5 deep breaths. So now by the time that we're getting into this Malasana pose, I'm just going to move this off. You should feel nice and open. All right, and if not, maybe you need to stay in the other poses a little bit longer. All right, so sitting on the block, if you're sitting on the block, if not, you're just hanging out. One more deep breath here. Good, and then slowly palms to the earth. Turn the toes in. Walk it forward into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Drop the knees down, and then we'll come into child's pose. Child's pose is also a really good one to remind yourself to open up the pelvic floor, and a good laboring position, toes together, knees wide, sit bones on top of heels, and then rest your head on a block or your mat, okay? So as you rest your head on the block or the mat, I want you to say 3 positive affirmations for yourself. Okay, I always like to pick the same ones, so you can either repeat after me or you can choose your own. I am healthy. I am strong. I trust myself. I am healthy. I am strong. I trust myself. I am healthy. I am strong. And I trust myself. Gently walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift your body up. And that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me in my prenatal journey and practicing yoga with me, okay? Please subscribe and like my channel if you want to see more of prenatal yoga, or just, I'm also thinking about doing prenatal like strength training and cardio. So whatever you want to see, comment below. All right.